Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cloud Conversations. We thought we would do a live episode this week because you'll probably notice that there's a bit of background noise going on. We're actually doing this live, from me anyway, from the South Coast Summit 2021 down in Southampton. So I'm your host, obviously, Kat Greenan. I'm down in Southampton this episode. I'm also joined by my lovely co-hosts, Root and Pete. How are you guys doing this morning?
Yeah, not bad. Just out of bed. Though you two look like you've had a much earlier start than me. I know that you, Kat, you said you've been up for quite a bit getting ready for South Coast. So
yeah, I was up at 6 this morning because I volunteered to help with the sign-ins. So you go a little bit earlier then to see everybody.
Cool.
So yeah, 6 a.m. start, a bit earlier than...
I was also
sure.
up at 6. 6 is usually when I start my day because that's when my wife and Oliver are usually up. But so that's when I'm up. But no, I am obviously not in Southampton. I was going to be at South Coast Summit. I'm still quite a bit gutted that I'm not. I've got serious FOMO, but at least we can join in some way. But I'm combining this with my little morning walk in the country. So a first for Cloud Conversations outdoor broadcast.
Yeah. Let's see how good that 4G signal is down in your neck of the woods. You look pretty good. It's good quality. Yeah.
It's probably better than my home internet. I mean, those who've watched the show fairly regularly will know that I sometimes go pixely quite randomly and it really annoys me. So maybe this is the way to go. In some areas around here, I'm getting 5G now as well, which is cool. But
all right, geez. Watch out. That'll give you COVID.
Oh, I said the same joke. I was with Steve, and we were talking about they've got 5G, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's like giving you coronavirus. We don't want to be talking about that in this time.
Yeah, definitely not.
True. So how's everything been down at South Coast Summit?
It's been amazing. So it's so overwhelming, I think, to see so many people in the same room. It's exciting. There's definitely a bit of a buzz. So yesterday they had the workshops. I didn't attend the workshops, but I was asking everyone how they went, and apparently they went really, really well. They had about 14 or 15 people in each of the workshops, and they had like a HoloLens demo and things like that in between. Very cool stuff. And then the South Coast Summit, the organisers were really nice. They gave all of the speakers and sponsors the chance to go for a meal in the evening down in the Hilton. So you got to speak to people who are speaking. And I actually spotted a couple of ex-colleagues as well that I didn't know were coming to the event. And one of them, was actually working in the team with one of the MVPs I was sitting next to. So it's a very small world. So it's quite nice to... Because I always find that it's quite nerve-wracking. You know, you don't think you know as many people as you do, and you come to these things where you've got to network and you've got to be, conversational, and that can be a bit intimidating coming on your own. But everybody's been so friendly, and turns out I do know quite a few people in the end. So it's been quite good. And then this morning. They've got the expo hall. So I don't know. Shall I show the expo hall? Do you think? Move the camera around.
Yeah.
Since I'm here, I'll move my camera around. But they've got the expo hall with all of the sponsors. So it's a bit there. You can see there. We've got all of these stalls. Try and get that straight.
Caged in there. That's good.
Caged in there. I'm at the top like a sports broadcaster, commenting on what's going on. I can see Microsoft. No, I'm joking. But no, it's really good. So they've got all the stalls. They've had the keynote as well from 9 until 10. We've got quite a lot of attendees coming through, and then the sessions start now. So the first speakers will be going on now. So that's quite exciting as well.
Cool.
So it's all kicking off.
Awesome.
Which is quite good.
As far as stuff that's coming up, what kind of sessions and things are you looking forward to?
So I'm a track lead for the event team. So I'm going to be joining a couple of the adoption and change management sessions just to make sure that the speakers are comfortable. I brought some extra HDMI cables with me. You never know. I've come prepared. I've got adapters in my bag so I can chuck them out. So I'll go to a couple of those. But I've saved a couple of speaks or sessions that I did a dynamic session I'm going to go in and watch. There's Power Platform, there's security, because they've got different tracks. So they'll have like the collaboration, which is Teams and SharePoint. They'll have adoption, they have security, and so on. And actually, when we spoke to Aaron the last time we did a live episode, he mentioned, try and see sessions that is not your area, so you learn more.
Yeah, good point.
So I've actually taken that advice and thought I'm not going to do the Teams ones, because I looked at the Teams ones and I thought, you know what, I do know about telephony and governance, and I might not learn anything too new. Whereas if I went to Dynamics or doing more in security, that might be a good opportunity to learn a bit more. So I am going to delve into different areas today. So I thought that was really good advice for a conference. I don't know if you guys, have you got any kind of advice for when you're going to this type of conference? I think that's always a handy thing to share, because I didn't know, shall I take a laptop or a notebook, or do they provide those? What do I wear? Is it is it formal or not? Or all of these things you kind of wonder, I guess, if you're not a frequent conference goer.
It's been a long time since I've been to an event in person. The last one was Ignite 2020, just before things started shutting down, and that was at the Excel London, and it's always very casual. It's sort of hoodies, t-shirts, jeans, very casual dress for the most part. And I always take a laptop with me, and historically I always used to take all my devices with me because I feel lost without them. So I would take my Mac and my work laptop and all sorts of stuff with me gadget-wise. So I couldn't be without them. But I think planning is half the battle in these sort of events, and trying to find your way around the venues. I mean, I don't know what the Ageas Bowl is like. Is it quite big? I mean, we've got a flavour of it there from the expo hall, but in terms of getting to talks, do you think there'll be a lot of walking involved from getting from session to session?
So there's a map that they actually provide on the lanyard, so you can see the map there. The sessions are
cool.
at the top and at the bottom. So we're in the top end at the moment, but if you wanted to go see a session that was in the bottom, it's about a 3-minute to 4-minute walk, but you would have to walk outside. You're not allowed to walk in the inside because you go through a restaurant, and obviously it's better to walk outside in this day and age. And so it might rain later. So that's something, again, with the planning, you might want to bring, umbrellas and look at, are you going to have to walk outside? It's only 3 or 4 minutes, but if it's chucking down and freezing, because we're by the sea, aren't we? So it's a little bit chilly in Southampton. That's a really good point. So I did look at that and think, I'll bring an umbrella, and I'll bring my Southampton hoodie, so then I have some warmth.
I see that Pete's representing with the South Coast Summit hoodie as well.
I've got the branding all sorted. I feel like I'm a fraud, actually, because I've apologized to Aaron so many times, and he keeps on telling me, don't worry about it, because I pulled out a few weeks ago for various reasons. But I got all the swag. I got as part of the event team. I got the hoodie and all the goodies. So I feel like I should return it. So I'm doing my best to promote and do my bit in a small way. Later on, when Kev is doing his talk, actually, I will be appearing on that one via video segments. So look out for that if you're going to Kevin McDonald's talks.
What's that talk going to be about, Peter?
He's going to be talking about Viva for the most part. He's going to be talking about Viva insights, Viva topics, and it's a really good session. So definitely advise you to go along to see Kev, because he is an awesome speaker. I always say just how great he is, because I wish I could be half the speaker he is. He's just brilliant. He's so entertaining, and he's so full of knowledge. And just go and see those sessions. You'll not be disappointed.
What I think is... Sorry,
one of the best. No, you go first.
I was just going to say, one of the things that I've noticed I do is I'll try and pick up tips and tricks from presenters when I watch the sessions. So then I like, right, okay, so they started it in quite a fun way, or, they just took a different approach. I'll kind of, maybe not stealing their stuff, but I'll, take tips and tricks from what they've done. And I think that's a useful, if you present, then watching other people helps, I think.
Yeah, you can steal it. It's all of life is just people stealing all the good stuff from other folk and merging it together, right? That's how things get
They'll
better.
take it as a compliment. I mean, just give them some credit. Just say, I got this idea from such and such, and I thought it was a great idea, but give them a mention. Because, I do. I learn so much from other speakers. Probably don't execute it half as well as they do, but I try.
Just to your point about Kevin being such a good speaker, one of my favourite memories from the monthly security and compliance user groups was Kevin was doing I think he was doing it on SharePoint syntax,
right?
Talking about how you can then label stuff on the back of that or something like that.
Yep.
And there's just one line in it, so he's sitting and he's doing the live demo, and he's setting it up, and there's an option on one of the panes on the window, and it says set up governance options, and Kevin's just clicking them in and goes, "Oh, we're not going to set up governance. Governance is for losers." And it's like, yeah. Well, you're not wrong. So
I might have to have words with him about that, because that is well in my remit, and he knows this.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a poke. That was provoking you.
I think so. He's a great fella.
Great stuff.
So good. But Keynote as well. I know they've got 3 amazing Keynote speakers. I can only help me out here, Kat. I can only remember the name of one of them, which is Donna Sarker, who, if you see Donna, introduce yourself and tell her to come on the show. And
okay.
I've been inviting her for ages, but so right, go give us go. Because I would love. Yeah, get Donna on the show. We need to talk to her because she is just awesome. I look up to Donna so much because she evangelizes very passionately accessibility and diversity and inclusion, and her role at Microsoft is all about that. And I just think she's brilliant. So go and see Donna talking because it's amazing. She'll probably, if you're into fashion as well, Donna has her own fashion line as well as her side hustle, and she has an amazing clothing range. So she'll probably talk a little bit about that too.
Wow, amazing! I'll see. It's a bit of a big place, but I'll see if I can track her down. And if you're listening to this, I'm coming for you. Sounds really threatening.
I don't know, chasing her like Michael Myers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is Halloween time, isn't it? So
it is, yeah. There you go.
Do you know who the other keynotes are, Kat? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't remember their names. But
there's 2 other Microsoft speakers, isn't
now.
there? There's Richard someone and...
Yes, let me check now. So we have them. There's Richard Potter and Helen Wilson.
Awesome.
So the keynote speakers. Unfortunately I didn't see the keynote speakers because I was doing the dinner flyers and lanyards. So I was helping with people arriving to give them their beer and lunch tokens, priorities. Cool. Definitely. So unfortunately I missed it, but hopefully I'll make up for that with some of the sessions later on. So it'll be good. And then there's a lot of things that they have going on as well. So once we've done all of the sessions, there at 5 p.m. there's like a pub quiz, or I'm not sure what time it starts, maybe 6 p.m. There's a pub quiz, so everyone has their teams, and it's all the money's going to charity, so it's for a really good cause.
Nice. Cool.
And then obviously there's networking drinks afterwards as well. So they're kind of making it a full day thing, which is quite good. And do you know what, Kev, bless him, he came up to me earlier and he said, "Happy birthday to your dog." And I was like, what?
I remembered. Wow.
I know. He said I had a note in my diary because I heard it on a podcast. He said I had a note in my diary to tell Kat happy birthday to her dog. And he said I didn't write down your dog's name. I was like, I'm sure I'll forgive you. That was amazing. I can't believe I'm gonna phone my fiance. Yeah. Like, our dog's famous. Everyone's asking for him.
Oh, give your dog a special mention.
So I'll give him a mention. That's so
fantastic.
Funny.
What kind of dog do you have again, Kat? I can't remember what.
It's a Shih Tzu.
A little Shih Tzu. Fantastic.
Adorable. And he's called Bruce.
Bruce, what a great name.
Bruce Green.
I thought I'd choose a bit of a butch name for a tiny little dog.
What a good idea! Fantastic stuff. Does he turn into Bat Dog to fight canine crime?
That's what I should get him into. I don't know. He's not that great with stuff. He's not nimble. He's a bit clumsy. Yeah, I don't know if he'd be the best dog for that. But no, I love him very much. And my fiance said he's going to give him a steak. And I said, if you give him a steak, he'll die. He's tiny. He's not going to be able to eat a steak. He's going to keel over. He's like, no, I'll give him a steak. I'm like, give him like tiny bit of it. And he's like, no, I'll get him like a rump steak. I'm like, no, don't give him a rump steak. So, and I bought him a toy. So,
You
if
can
no
come
one's
see me
get-
if you want. I could
Well,
I
happy
do
birthday,
say.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Happy
Nobody
birthday,
knew so
Bruce.
far. I'm obviously obsessed with my dog. I feel like that's all I talk about. So we'll move swiftly on.
Yeah, crazy dog lady.
Yeah. So how long are things going on for today then, Kat? What's the order of play? When do things sort of really get going, and when does it wrap up?
So it's already kind of kicked off. The registration was from 8 o'clock this morning. The keynote started at 9 a.m.
Cool.
There was breakfast, there's coffee and tea and so on. And then there's the expo halls are around all day, I think. So in between that, you've got the sessions which are they're on every hour, essentially.
Yeah.
Some of them are 20 minutes, some of them are 40 minutes. So you just wander around, pick the sessions you want to go to. There's an app, which is really useful, the Sessionize app, where you can favorite your sessions. So I've got mine's already on there with the room numbers. What they've done that's quite cool as well is on this lanyard is they have the room numbers with the name of the room as well. And the numbers are on the map. So if you are ever, oh God, what end is that? You could just look at this. I think that's so useful. Because if your phone goes out of battery, and you don't have the map on your phone, you could just look at this and then it's there for you. So it's on all day. It's on until about 5 p.m. Then it's the quiz. Then it's drinks. Should wrap up later on tonight around whenever people they finish drinking. So there's a few Scottish people here, so that could go on to quite late.
Yeah, go on a wee bit. Jesus.
I was so looking forward to
the
the quiz
pints
and the evening. I wonder if I just kept on walking, how soon I could walk to Southampton and make it there for the evening. It's a long way. It's from the northeast of England to the south coast.
It'll be a long live stream.
Yeah, I think we need a northeast summit. There's an idea. But
we've got Scottish Summit coming up, so is that closer to you than South Coast?
I would say so.
Maybe,
that's in Glasgow, isn't it?
Sure is. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that'll be on again before you know it, won't it?
Yep. These things sneak up.
They really do.
And just a question on the rooms, Kat. Is it kind of like if you're interested in one particular track or like the track that you're helping out at, does that jump from room to room, or is that all kind of the same place?
They're not kept together, the tracks. It's all different rooms. So I'm not sure how they've organized it, but different sessions, different rooms. The tracks are just there because I think there's track leads. So the event people can kind of manage one workload, so adoption, change management, or teams. But in terms of the rooms, they're kind of just wherever they are. You just go find them. And then obviously on the app, you can filter to tracks. So if you just want to watch a Power Automate session, then you can filter to Power Automate and just see all of the sessions that are going to be on Power Automate. So I think that's why there is tracks. But I don't think they're in any particular room order or anything like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's pretty well organized. I mean, there's not been any issues. Even with the registrations, there was no big queues or anything like that. The way that they've done it is quite good. So it's gone pretty smooth so far. So we'll
awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we've got to
continue.
give a massive shout out to Aaron and Nathan because
yes,
the blood, sweat, and tears they've put into this, they've done amazing. And I've been talking to Aaron all week, and I know he's been so nervous that people are just going to turn up. That was his biggest worry. And I felt so bad because I was one of the ones who didn't turn up at the end. But I said to him the other day, I said, people are going to be there. Don't worry. It's going to be awesome. And looking at yesterday, looking at all those workshops being tweeted out on social, and it just looked fantastic. And it's a credit to them both and the wider organizing team around them, like you, Kat. Brilliant. Community coming together. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Definitely.
Good
But
stuff.
yeah, very busy, which is good. There's quite a lot of people here. And then it's quite good because the keynote was down, there's two ends to it. So I'm at the top end. The Hilton end is where the keynote is. And there was about 500 people that could fit in there. But a few people didn't want to do that because obviously that's quite intimidating if you're not comfortable.
Right.
And so what they've done is they streamed the keynote in the expo hall. So you can come at the top end. There's a lot more space and still be involved and still watch the keynote. So they're being quite good with that. And they did something quite cool, which is they mentioned this on the live session, that the stickers. So there's a green and red sticker. Green if you're happy to hug and shake hands, and red if you want social distancing.
Sure.
I'm all up for the hugs, so I'm green.
Cool,
But
cool.
I'll go up to people and if their badge is flipped over, I'm like, we shake, and they're like, I'll shake. I'm like, I'll shake too. Let's shake. I had somebody fist pump me.
There you go.
People hugging me. So there's lots of different people elbowing. So there's
Elbowing's a
lots
thing now. Yeah, isn't it?
that's it. Yeah, so it's a different world that we're in. But yeah, people
Yeah.
are just offering up what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's been no issues there either, which is quite nice. But I'm
Yeah.
just ready for
Awesome.
it. Bring it in.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, Rue,
So-
what we could do, you and I, as wrestling fans, we could do the old Too Sweet.
Oh yeah, you got all these wrestling things you could do.
Yeah.
Too sweet, all of them. Yep, I like it. We're hitting each other with chairs before we know it.
Oh,
there you go.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
get a colour for that. Comfortable with chair shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. No headshots though.
Yeah.
Now that we know what we know about concussions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm walking through a very muddy bit. Steady.
Oh, don't fall. Can you?
No, don't want any more broken bones. I did that a few years ago, and yeah.
That would be good for the view counts, though. So,
Wouldn't it,
you know,
though? Yeah. That's one way to get the subscribers up.
Yeah, what
Absolutely.
clickbait is Peter breaks a bone live on Cloud Conversations. It's not
There you
ideal.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, been there, done that. Don't want to do it again.
Dear me.
Oh dear. Oh well. So yeah, cool, good stuff. It sounds like and one of the things that I was worried about when I found out we were doing this podcast with you kind of down there, Kat, as well. Hopefully the internet's good, but it's been flawless. You go to a lot of these exhibition halls and the Wi-Fi's up and down like a yo-yo, right? But it's looking pretty good.
It is quite good, and what I've done is I've just logged into the GS Bowl Wi-Fi. It's not even like particular Wi-Fi for this event. Do you know what I mean, or anything like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been spot on. I was warned though, if it does cut out, to just use Tether off my phone. But yeah, it's been great. It's been really good, and it's quite good. I was a bit worried. I was like, how are we going to do a session in the event? Where am I going to go? Is it going to be too loud or anything like that? But they did really well. They set up a table, which I showed you earlier. It looks out across all the stalls. They do have like a mic here and a screen set up and chargers and a little sign that says podcasters here. So yeah, it's all very well organized, which is quite good.
Awesome.
Very
good.
helpful.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few of our fellow podcasters lined up to do this throughout the day, isn't it? I know there's Grey Hat Beard with Kev, Al, and Gary. I know Gary's dialing in as Rue and I are. And you got Steve and Jay as well, all about 365. I think Jay's dialing in. So we're not alone in some of us being there, some of us not. Microsoft Spotlight podcast, I think, are doing it as well. And I'm sure many others who I've forgotten. Sorry if I've not mentioned anyone.
Yeah, it's a busy day. We actually had to get a slot for this table at a particular time as well, because I will be kicked out eventually for the next guys to come in. But that's just part of why this is great for the community, because these types of things where you set up things like podcasts, people are in their podcasts are bringing in guests and things like that. And it also, I think, just gets people excited for in-person conferences again. I mean, being here with the buzz, it honestly is quite exciting. So I think, if you do have the chance to go to a conference, I would definitely, try and make it, because it's, we're back in business.
Cool.
for most of it.
Yeah, 2022, it's on my my target list of things to do. For sure.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm getting serious FOMO, like just so jealous. I'm like, why didn't I go? Could have made it happen, but whatever.
How far away would it be from you? Because you're a bit up north.
You'd have to fly, wouldn't you?
You're a bit far up.
I'm pretty sure I would need to fly to make it kind of reasonable. Let's see, if I were to walk like Peter suggested. Let's see, Southampton. How far away is that? Google Maps is on it. It is 500 miles.
Whoa.
I would walk 500 miles.
Wow.
So it's not quite Land's End to John O'Groats, but it's not far off.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a trek. Maybe a fun road trip though, I guess. But next one for me is the Scottish Summit. So that's going to be in February, I believe. I need to double check that.
And that's going to be a hybrid event, I believe. They're going to run it in person, but you can also speak virtually as well, I believe. So yeah.
That's in Glasgow. I haven't been to Glasgow since I was 17, which is when I moved out of. I used to live in Motherwell, which is in North Lanarkshire. For those who anyways, near Glasgow.
If you don't know where Motherwell is, you won't know where Lanarkshire is either, but
Lanarkshire
okay.
is, yeah. Sorry. It's near Glasgow, basically. So yeah, and then moved from there to England when I was 17. That's the last time I was in Glasgow. So it'd be nice and nostalgic to get probably fly up.
So where in England did you live before you ended up in Wales?
Well, when I was 17, my parents moved to Doncaster in South Yorkshire, so in the north of England. And I was the only Scottish person in my school. And I'm from Edinburgh. I also lived in Fife, and then we moved to Glasgow. I was in Glasgow for 2 years as a teenager, and I picked up a very, very heavy accent. I also picked up a lot of slang. So when I moved to Doncaster, there was a guy in my class, and he said, "Oh, you're new. What's your name?" And I said, "My name's Kathleen." And he said, "What?" And I was like, "My name is Kathleen." And he was like, "I'm not sorry, what?" And I was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "I'm so sorry. I just don't know what you're saying." I was like, "I'm saying 3 words." So it must have, obviously, the only Scottish person in the school, they didn't really, understand the accent. So I had a bit of trouble there with people understanding me.
Oh dear.
But it's
I didn't think it was
diluted
that
now.
bad. Jeez.
It's definitely diluted now, as you could probably tell, being out of Scotland for so many years. So.
Yeah. That happens, doesn't it, when you move around the country? I think my northeast twang has got a little less over the years, but I think I sound pretty distinctly Geordie, but not like broad like Kenny Howerman or Lassie. Not like that, but it comes out when I get excited about things like football and I had a couple of the drinks and so on and so forth. But on the whole, I think my accent's got a bit more neutral over the years.
It comes out when you say book. That's always a
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there we
Never
go.
noticed
There
that.
it is. Yeah. That's
Yeah. Cookery. Yeah, because Louise argues with me about this. She says I'm saying it wrong, and I well, how do you say it? And she says cookery, cookery. Well, that's C-U-C-K. That's not right. Double O is ooh.
Gotta be careful how you pronounce that word. If you miss a certain vowel, that could end up.
Yeah, quite right.
Oh,
Dear. Good. I find that my accent, I used to have a bit of a stronger accent. I find that I have to try quite hard not to talk too fast. See if I'm on like a call with a customer, I find myself talking really slow just because I'm conscious that they won't understand the word I'm saying. I guess because I remember once I was going to a music festival called Hellfest in Paris.
Nice.
Yeah, and we were getting a coach, and we were sitting next to a couple guys, and they were hammered, but they were English. And me and my girlfriend at the time, Pamela, we were talking to them, and they just stared at us like lost in translation, and they just turned away. They're like, "No, I'm going to bother."
I just don't get it. It's not even that hard an accent to understand. It's
No.
do you know what I mean? I don't find it. I mean, I know
Totally
I'm Scottish, but you hear some accents. I just don't understand why. There's a friend that I have in London, and I'll tell her to watch this episode so she can hear her shout out. But she said she went to see Frankie Boyle and couldn't understand a word he said. And I said, that is the most well-spoken Scottish man.
Yep.
He's got a very strong accent, but he's clear as day. His words are crisp. He's slow. His pace is good. If you can't understand Frankie Boyle doing a show, you've got some problems, and you just struggle with everything.
It's not like we're talking like Sean Connery here, It's a bit more. But again, because one of the other things, and I'm interested in, I've always wanted to ask this question actually. So one of the big cultural phenomenons up in Scotland is 2 TV shows. One called Chewing the Fat, the other one called Still Game.
Yes.
And the accents in that are very strong. Is that a thing down in England? Did you ever have those shows down there? Because they are so big here, like easily the most popular shows ever in Scotland.
Yeah.
That's called Chewing the Fat and Still Game. Did they ever have them down your neck of the woods, Peter?
I've heard of them, but I've heard of Still Game.
Right.
I don't think I've heard of Chewing the Fat, but I've not watched either of them. But I'll take that tip now and have a look. But
they're funny.
Yeah,
they're really good. But it's one of those things. It's culturally very Scottish, right? So it might be one of the things that just kind of goes over everyone's head. But just to give you an idea of how big this was up in Scotland, broadcast on BBC for a few seasons, and then it just ended. Oh,
Right.
mic there. So broadcast for a few seasons, and then it just ended. And then they said, well, we're going to bring this back as a one-off live show at the Hydro, which is a big arena in Glasgow. And it sold out for, I'd need to dig out the numbers, but just night after night after night after night, totally sold out. I know that when we got tickets, we were hanging from the rafters, as they say, couldn't have been any further up, but it was the only tickets we could get. So it always amazes me how we live in this tiny little island, but all these countries in our little island are so culturally different in their own sense of humor and their own accents and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, completely. Yeah, so true.
Weird.
Definitely.
So,
Since I've moved out of
sure.
Scotland, I haven't come across anybody who watches them. Like some people have heard of them, like Pete, but nobody's ever got like. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the episodes if nobody's really seen them. But yeah, they're really, really funny, and it is like it's not Scottish humor, but the references are all funny because it's referencing things that we do in Scotland and things we say and how we act and yeah. Good. I've not watched them in so long just because I've not been.
I think they're on Netflix. Pretty sure it's all on Netflix.
I think it is on Netflix. I might give it
I'm so glad I've got you two as my partners in crime on this because I love all things Scottish. I've always loved Scotland. I've arguably kind of always wanted to be Scottish to the point of my father-in-law. He often used to refer to me as McPeter because of how much I go on about how much I love all things Scottish. But I do. I love it all. I love bagpipes, which Louise hates, but I love them. I think they're the best sound in the world.
Cool.
Absolutely love it.
I don't. Yeah, bagpipes. The only reason I like bagpipes is because I'm from Edinburgh, and every time I go and visit my family, obviously there's always the bagpipes on Princess Street. And so it just went, as soon as I hear the bagpipes, I'm like, I feel like I'm home now. Not because bagpipes are Scottish, just because they are always playing when I walk into Princess Street out the Waverley Station. I'm like, right, I'm home now. I can go see all my family. So it's like nostalgic.
Totally agree.
But just interjecting here, if Aaron and Nathan are watching this right now, they'll be thinking, why are you talking about Scotland? This is South Coast, isn't it?
That's true.
We've wandered right off topic. So what's the area like where you are, Kat? What's it like around the Aegeus Pole?
Good question.
So I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a huge amount because I've seen the train station and then the taxi to the hotel, and then and that's it really. But it's like 15 minutes away from Southampton Central, which is where all the shops and everything are. And then obviously you've got the docks and things like that. But I haven't seen much of it. The actual area, it's surrounded by hotels. So you've got the Holiday Inn, you've got the Hilton, and then the Hilton's basically part of the arena. So there's people that I know who are staying in the Hilton, and their rooms overlook the grounds, like the cricket grounds. Which is quite cool. So like that's basically part of it. It's a really nice building. It's quite big. And I saw earlier when I was walking through, we're in the expo hall, and because we're just around the side of obviously this big green bit, which is the grounds, you can see them even if you're walking from one place to the other. So it's just really nice to be out in the fresh air, and it's a nice view. So it's a really great venue. I think they picked for it.
Fantastic.
And, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who have traveled from all over the world to like come to this event. And there's quite a few people who, they're nearby. And actually one of my bosses is here at the event, who I didn't actually realize he was turning up, and he was there, and I said, hello. Sorry, I think that's just one of the sound people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were coming. He was like, yeah, I used to live down the road. I was like, oh my goodness. Cool. So people
it's amazing.
From all over.
That is one of the things about these in-person conferences. You bump into all sorts of people who you didn't realize were going to be there. And in fact, one of the things that kind of breaks my heart about all of the conferences I've been to in the past is all the people who were probably I walked right past who I know now who I didn't then.
Definitely. There's so many people that I've spoken to online over Teams or messaging or that now I've seen in person, and I'm just like, and do you know what? There's a few people that I haven't recognized and they haven't recognized me. So there's people where I've been speaking to them for quite a while, and then I'll sit next to them, and they're like, "Hi, what's your name? Sorry," and I'm like, "It's Kat," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Kat! I'm so sorry."
Fantastic.
And they give you a hug. I'm like, "It's fine, like it's all right." I've done that to a couple of people. And I've said, "Are you here for?" And they're like, "Oh, it's so and so." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I've spoken to you like 5 times."
It must
But
be
it's
hard.
just
It
different,
really must.
isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Has anybody surprised you in terms of being really taller or really shorter than you thought they were going to be?
Do you know what, Pete? I'm not gonna lie. I'm 5'1.5", and so
Oh dear, so everyone's tall.
everyone's tall.
Uh-huh.
Literally everyone is tall. So I'm looking around, and then I'm like, yeah, and I'm like talking to people like we're gonna get a sore neck. So no one surprised me. Just everyone's tall in my world, which is just how I've got used to things. But so everybody's been really tall. But somebody was saying that earlier. They said. So Steve actually mentioned you, Pete, and he was like, I've not met Pete in person. Imagine if he comes out and he's like a lot taller than me or shorter than we thought he'd be. You never know these things.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
So
yeah.
Good point.
Absolutely.
I always struggle with because there's certain folks that you only know them through the social media, the Twitter, LinkedIn, and all that. As soon as they change their display picture on Twitter or LinkedIn, I'm like, who are you again? and so my worry is if I ever go to next time I go to a live event like Scottish Summit, I'll be like, trying to convert your face into your Twitter picture or something like that. Make sure I get your name right. That's always
I've only seen one picture
fear.
of you for everything, Rue.
I'll never change it because then folk won't know who's this guy tweeting about Defender.
Yeah.
I think
even I change my pictures all the time, mainly as my evolving look changes.
That's true.
Facial hair and long hair, short hair, glasses, and I'm always messing about with profile pics.
I think if you get a dramatic change in hair or something like that, like Rue, if you shaved your beard, you're gonna have to take a new picture. You're gonna have to, nobody would recognize you.
Yeah,
that's true. I'd look about 10 years younger. I look like a wee baby.
I couldn't. I don't think I'll ever shave my beard. I might cut my hair short again at some point, but I don't think the beard's ever going.
You get too used to it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being clean shaven.
Keeps you warm when you're out.
I've not been clean shaven since 2015.
Wow.
I still remember the first. So the way Pete and I met was through 2 companies ago. Back when we were consultants at. Really, when I first started consultancy, that's right. And I'm sitting in the hotel room that the first night because I had to travel to get to the office, and WhatsApp pops up because I'm added to the team's WhatsApp, and it's Peter saying, "Oh my God, just seen Rue's display pic. I've been completely outbearded."
Yeah, I was shocked. The beard was always my thing, but no longer.
Are you going to grow it longer, do you think, Pete?
I have had it longer before. It's been longer than this before. I'll have to dig out a pic of it at its longest. But I used to have really short hair, at least short on the sides and the backs, like a number 0 shaved, like proper Peaky Blinders style. But then I thought to compete with Rue seriously, I grow the hair out. But ponytails appeared now, which has had mixed reception.
The ponytail is always a dividing thing. For me, it's just laziness. Easy. Just wake up, throw it back, and that's it.
It is. But with longer hair, one thing you don't realize until you have long hair is just how much of a pain it is to dry it. It takes ages.
It does.
Welcome to my world.
I know, Kat sitting there thinking, well, we think we've got it tough.
This is what ladies go through. But then, guys, I'm sorry to take us off topic. I found my first grey hair.
Oh,
wow.
I found it as a big silver bugger as well, right down there. And then somebody said if you pull it out, it comes back, the more come back. So I'm just
with
left
a vengeance.
So I was like, oh my gosh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dye my hair. And you'll see me because it's going to be quite different. I'm for Halloween, I'm dressing up as Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, cool.
So I'm actually gonna get her hair. So I'm gonna go jet black bob, full fringe. So it'll be a different. It's gonna be a different cat.
That's radically different. Blimey, that's commitment to a costume.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I thought I would just go for it. I put the wig on and thought I suit it. I'll just do it. So you'll see me.
And is your fiance? Is he going as John Travolta then?
Do you know what? I've tried to bloody get him to. but he's not. He's going from the Ryan Gosling from Drive. So he's bought the Drive.
Oh yeah, the jacket with the scorpion on it.
All he's done is bought a jacket, and I was like, "Come on! I've got blood coming down my nose. I've got fake cigarettes. Like I've gone all out. It's actually a wedding we're going to. They're having a. It's on Halloween, so they're having a Halloween party as the reception. So
cool.
That's why we're getting kitted out. But yeah, you'll see me a little bit different quite soon. Get rid of
amazing
grey hair.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
what you could do.
Don't cry about grey hair too much in front of Pete, for God's sake. That's just a bit insensitive.
Pete,
I love my grey hair.
Yeah, men, you're silver foxes. For a lady, it's a little bit different, I think. So
Well, you say that. But a couple of years ago, when I used to go to the barbers, I have a cool barber, actually. His name's Jack Wicks. A little plug for him. And he's proper barber, tattooed, bearded, the works, but cool guy. But next to him, there was a lady salon as well, and one of the hairdressers used to pop in occasionally, and she walked past me, and she stopped dead in her tracks. And she said, "Oh, your hair colour! I've got ladies who'd pay a fortune for that."
Wow!
So apparently,
white and silver hair.
Yeah. So apparently, it's a bit of a thing, and
yeah, definitely.
So
if you
maybe
dye in
embrace
it, maybe. I don't think I will. I'm gonna go black. I'll go jet black.
Yeah, good plan.
But the grey hair isn't the issue. I think it's just getting older. I'm coming now to the realization that I'm not a young child anymore. I'm gonna grow up, and it's
Don't
scary,
start with me, you two. I'm the old codger on this show. That's my thing.
I'll stop complaining then. I've got a few years yet.
Yeah, because it's Rue. You've just had your 30th, haven't you? And
correct.
I know you've got a birthday coming up soon as well.
30th at the end of November. So.
Yeah, awesome. I didn't know if I should say, because ladies often don't want to share how old they are, so I didn't want to assume. But yeah, so yeah. Both 30, and next year's a big 50 for me.
So it is, yeah.
Wow,
which seems
milestone.
Which seems mad. You never feel any different.
Why don't you throw your Cloud Conversations birthday party?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I definitely think we should, and then we should all wear banners or something, or party hats.
It's about time we got some merch, actually. Let's get some T-shirts and some stickers and stuff like that.
That would be great. We could bring them to conferences and have them out and get more subscribers.
Definitely.
I think that's a good shout. Yeah, definitely.
Good idea.
Somebody who I know does at least stickers, I think, is Louise Fries, MVP in Germany. I think she does. So she's a lot of cool stuff. Is she? Oh, you must say hi.
She was at the Power Apps Hackathon yesterday. So yeah, she's here.
Cool. Awesome. We've been trying to get Louise on the show for a while, and she's agreed to do it, but we've just missed each other time-wise a couple of times now. So she will be coming soon, I'm sure. But we're trying to arrange it. But she's cool.
Good stuff.
Definitely.
Good stuff.
How are we doing for time? We're on 43 minutes. I
was going to say, I think, am I right that it's the Practical 365 guys or the All Out 365 guys that are going to come and kick you out the way soon, Kat?
I
don't want to get on Steve Goodman's bad side.
No, I don't either. They're not here yet, but I can imagine they'll probably... No one's hovering yet, but I can imagine they'll probably come in soon. They know that I've got it until 10 to 11, so but they might want to set up and stuff as well. So
cool. Okay, well, no, it was really good catching up with you both and finding out, I guess, from yourself, Kat, all about South Coast. I hope the rest of the day is good.
Yeah, have an amazing day, Kat. Enjoy it and travel safe on your way home. And
thank you.
And tweet all about it. Let us share with us throughout the day what you're experiencing, because so jealous. But
I will do. I've got some photos. I'll publish them now. But feel free, follow on Twitter, see all of the updates for South Coast Summit. And what I'll do is I'll follow up on if missed any sessions and how it all went. So yeah, definitely follow along. But thank you guys. I'll go and try and see some of the sessions now. I'm really excited. I'll go and meet some familiar faces. But thanks
big
so
up
much.
South Coast Summit. Yay.
Woo!
Awesome.
Right.
Cool.
Well,
thank you all.
Until next time, guys.
Yeah, catch you down the road. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.